Field tightens up. Nick Morgan and Jennifer Morgan on the front row. Jeff Lyons and Brian Kozak in row number 2. And green flag goes in the air. And we're watching Jennifer Morgan and Nick Morgan earlier this afternoon in practice, and they were running pretty close together. Some interesting swaps there for position during practice, just kind of testing each other out. And right now, it's going to be Nick Morgan taking that number 1 spot from the pole. Jennifer Morgan falls in line second, Kozak in line third, then comes Jeff Lyons. Things tighten up down the backstretch a little bit. Jennifer Morgan get a hard run down into turns 3 and 4. She'll get up. Her and Nick Morgan will swap a little paint in the middle of turn number 4. And at the stripe, it's going to be a close call. Looks like Jennifer Morgan might have led that lap by a nose. But Nick Morgan coming roaring back on the high side. And he'll retake that number 1 spot. But Jennifer Morgan with the preferred line down to the inside. They're side by side again. It's trading a little bit of paint in turn number 3. And now Kozak coming up, thinking about making it 3 wide. He wisely backs out of it. Now he'll go to work on Nick Morgan for that second spot, with Jennifer Morgan showing the way down the backstretch and Lyons in tow, just a car length off the rear deck of Kozak. To the stripe, Nick Morgan taking a peek to the inside, can't get the run. He'll try it once again through turns 1 and 2. Again, unable to get that bite down through the bottom of the turn. He'll lose about a car length as they work down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. Nose to tail as they cross the stripe and trying to pull away from Kozak. And now Nick Morgan down to the inside gives a little bit of a nudge to Jennifer Morgan, but she'll hold on to that number 1 spot. 5 laps in the record book, they race around to lap number 6, 14 laps remaining. This time, Nick Morgan tried to get really low down in the middle of 3 and 4, and a black flag given over the car number 60 maybe, or the 80. We're waiting to see who the black flag has been called on. And it looks like the number 80 has fallen off pace, but the black flag is on the number 60. So Nick Morgan taking the black flag. Jennifer Morgan coming down pit road, and she's being waved on through. She'll lose a great bit of ground. But the black flag going to the number 60, and we'll wait for the official call on that. That's going to hand the lead over to the number 19 of Kozak. So a little confusion amongst the drivers, and Brian Kozak will assume the number 1 spot. And it looks like they have fluid coming from the back of the number 60. They check it out and send him on his way. So your leader now will be the number 19 of Brian Kozak, the check pole racing machine, as he'll work to put a lap on the number 60 of Nick Morgan. Second place will be the 27 of Jeff Lyons. Jennifer Morgan still posted on the lead lap in third, and they'll come to the halfway signal this time by 10 laps down, 10 laps to go. So Kozak with a healthy advantage now over Lyons. Lyons been kind of struggling with that machine the last few weeks. Been hard at work during practice trying to get it back dialed in, but just unable to get the runs they've been needing. Nick Morgan now fighting to get back on the lead lap. He'll close in on Kozak, looks to him to the inside, and that'll be a good place to be if they get a caution. He needs to get back on that lead lap. Kozak gives him plenty of room, lets him flash by. 12 laps on the board. Nick Morgan gets back on the lead lap. Lyons trying to close up a bit now. He's cut what was about a 5-car length advantage down to 2 and tries to tighten it up even more as they work turns 1 and 2. He'll close in slightly as they head for turns 3 and 4. Things starting to tighten up once again. Jeff Lyons starting to reel in the rear deck of Kozak's number 19. They'll work through turns 1 and 2. Kozak's advantage now just about a car length. With 15 laps on the board, it'll be 4 to go when they get the stripe. And Lyons seeking a victory. He's been hungry for one, and it looks like tonight might be his opportunity if he can do anything with Brian Kozak. One car looping off turn number 2, the number 80 of Jennifer Morgan, spun down in the dirt. And yellow flag will fly on lap number 17. And that's going to tighten things up as now Jeff Lyons pulls up alongside Brian Kozak, tries to take that lead, but he'll be put back in his proper spot. Under caution for the first time on lap number 17 for the Silver Eagle division. And we go back to green flag racing, and things dicing it up quickly. Jennifer Morgan works on Jeff Lyons, and I do believe she has scored one lap down, but Nick Morgan is back on the lead lap, and he's fighting for that second spot against Lyons. Everyone chasing. Number 19, Brian Kozak, 2 laps remaining. Nick Morgan and Jennifer Morgan going at it once again. Nick Morgan trying to hunt down Kozak for that number 1 spot. And now the official call as the white flag flies. It's Brian Kozak showing the way. Nick Morgan in second. Jennifer Morgan holding third. Jeff Lyons in fourth. Final lap, Kozak will drop it down to the bottom, trying to protect that inside groove. Nick Morgan takes a look to the inside. Kozak shuts the door on him. He'll try the high side, but it's not going to work. Brian Kozak gets the win. Nick Morgan will take second. Jennifer Morgan third, and fourth will go to Jeff Lyons. Earlier this afternoon in qualifying, Brent Robinson will start alongside and Justin Emery chasing Brent Robinson for those points. Robinson coming into this event with a 4-point advantage as they get set for the green flag, and green goes in the air. Robinson with a good jump at the green. He'll challenge Grubb on the high side. They'll drive hard into turns 1 and 2. Grubb gets a good bite down off the bottom. And now Robinson tries to charge up alongside, has to back out just a bit. So Christopher Grubb will take over that top spot. Robinson will chase from that second position. And Emery holding down that third spot. Emery running a little bit different line tonight than he's run in the past few weeks. We'll see if it's going to work for him. As they've all been trying to catch Christopher Grubb of late. 3 out of the 4 events he's entered, he has won for 55. Robinson staying just about a car length and a half off his rear deck. Emery drifting back just a bit. Robinson seeming content to follow the line of Grubb for these first couple of circuits. Brent Robinson with 388 points to Justin Emery. And as the season winds down, only 2 more events for these young stars. Every one of those positions is going to count valuable towards that points chase for 97. First year we've had the Bronze Eagles. We hope they grow even more. Getting some young stars into these cars. Grubb still continuing to show the way, but Robinson closes it up, making about a car length as they work down the backstretch. And 3 and 4 seems to be his favorite place. Runs hard, deep into turn number 3. He'll close in even more as they work off turn number 4. Grubb showing a little more straight down the straightaway. And it was a little bit higher in turn number 1. Robinson tries to close it up. Again, Grubb able to hold on. We've watched Robinson several times just kind of ride around in that second spot, and then as it gets late in the race, make his challenge. We'll see if he's going to do it tonight. If you were here last week, you saw Brent Robinson and Justin Emery going at it for several laps as Christopher Grubb ran third. And looks like Emery may be having a problem. He slows down the backstretch. Car number 7 heading into the pits for service. Something amiss on Justin Emery's machine. And what a heartbreaker for young Emery. As we continue to watch the duo go at it on the backstretch. Grubb unable to shake Robinson. So they come to the halfway signal, halfway this time by. 8 laps in the book. And 7 remaining in their 15-lap run. And Robinson closes up, cuts it down to just a few feet. Again, able to drive deeper into turns 3 and 4. Very comfortable with 3 and 4. Robinson still seems a little uncertain about 1 and 2, but he's not having any problems tonight. He closes it down to a foot, now making a couple of inches, and he looks to the inside as they race into turn number 3. Robinson with a nose down to the inside of Grubb. He'll back out just a bit. Thought Grubb was going to shut him off, but he'll run him hard off turn number 4. Grubb able to maintain that top spot. And now he'll pick up about 2 car lengths as they race down the backstretch with only 5 laps remaining. See if Robinson can close back in on him for these final few circuits. Last week, Justin Emery showed the way until about lap number 12 when Robinson tried to stick the nose underneath of him going into turn number 1. The 2 tangled, and Grubb went to the high side to avoid both of them, went on to win the event. Tonight it's down to just 2 with Emery retired in the pits. Grubb trying to lengthen his advantage slightly, but Robinson not ready to give in yet. He's got 3 laps to get it done. To the stripe. They get the 2-lap signal. It'll be white flag next time by for Christopher Grubb, looking for his 4th win in 5 runs. And Robinson will give it everything he's got for this final couple of circuits. He'll close on him just a bit as he works off turn number 4. Good line, running right up to the wall, coming off turn number 4. He chases Grubb for this final circuit. Gets a little bit loose going into turn number 1, and that cost him probably all the ground Grubb's going to need, as Robinson had to check up just a bit. And now Grubb will sweep off turn number 4 and head for the stripe for his 4th win of 1997. Brent Robinson takes 2nd, and Justin Emery will take 3rd. Field gets the 1 to go. Everybody will tighten up. Heberth and Arnett on the front row. Sales and Morgan in row number 2. Row number 3, Fleshwood and Arnold. Row 4, Pemberton and Millisham. Row 5, Millisham and Yarborough. Row 6, Simons and Lott. Row number 7, Powell and Sims. And row 8, Waltrip and Barrett. And we get set for the green flag. It goes in the air, and Jason Heberth with a good start there at the green. He'll jump out front and lead them into turns number 1 and 2. A challenge for the 3rd spot. Cliff Sales down to the inside of Larry Morgan. They'll battle hard down the backstretch. Dan Arnold already working by Eric Fleshwood, and now working on Cliff Sales. Sales gets a little bit loose in the bottom of the turn, has to gather it back in. At the stripe, it's going to be Heberth, Arnett, Morgan. Sales holding on by a fender. He'll jump up in front of Dan Arnold. Arnold gets a little tap to the rear from Eric Fleshwood, and everyone set sail for lap number 2. Heberth works off turn number 4 to the stripe. A car length and a half advantage over Jeff Arnett. Arnett gets a bit loose trying to enter turn number 1. That opens up the inside lane. Larry Morgan will take advantage of it. Down to the inside, move Larry Morgan into that number 2 spot. Arnold finally working his way by Sales. So move Dan Arnold up to 4th spot. Sales falls back to 5th. 6th spot, Eric Fleshwood. Battle for 7th spot. Lanny Pemberton on the high side. Sam Millisham down to the bottom in car number 5. They'll race door to door down the backstretch for position. The battle continues for 7th. Randy Yarborough right there just behind, and then a good battle between Jim Lott and Ed Millisham as well. They continue to go side by side with Wes Simons and Jeff Sims in tow. They'll keep an eye on that pack. Pemberton, Millisham, and Yarborough, and finally It's Pemberton securing that position number 7 in the running order. Millisham will fall in line 8th, Yarborough 9th, Lott 10th. Battle goes for 11th between Simons and Millisham, Ed Millisham that is. At the stripe, it's Jason Eberth by a car length and a half, but Larry Morgan's chopping into that advantage. He'll close in even more as they work through turns 1 and 2. That battle between Lott and Yarborough continues further back, but we'll keep an eye on the top 2 as Morgan sets poised to challenge for that number 1 position. 7 laps in the record books. And now Eberth's advantage down to a half a car length. As Morgan tries to reel him in, Jeff Arnett holding that 3rd position, Dan Arnold in 4th, Cliff Sales 5th. Battle goes for 6th. Lanny Pemberton taking a move inside of Eric Fleshwood as they cross the stripe and head for turns 1 and 2. And looks like Sam Millisham going to try to follow him through if he can make the move. That's the only side-by-side battle on the speedway at the moment between Pemberton and Fleshwood. They'll continue to duke it out as their top 2 tighten up even more. Sam Millisham getting a little impatient there with those 2 in front of him, giving a little shove. Now he'll get a shove from Jim Lott from the rear, Pemberton's teammate, and they'll continue to bunch up there as they go for the battle for that 7th, to make that 6th position. Arnold taking a peek for that 3rd spot on Jeff Arnett. Couldn't get the run that time off turn number 2. And now Pemberton finally secures that 6th position. Millisham's going to try to follow him through underneath Fleshwood. Fleshwood trapped up on the high side, and Jim Lott will follow in tow as well. 1 car looping on the backstretch. It's car number 98, Larry Morgan. Everyone going to avoid Morgan. A couple of cars having to swerve way out of the groove, but everyone gets by cleanly, and Larry Morgan got a little bit too low down in turn number 1. Dipped that left front tire down in the dirt, and it set him around as he come off turn number 2, and that'll put us under our first caution on lap number 11. Larry Morgan bringing it out, car number 98. Tail end of the field. Came into this event 20 laps behind Dan Arnold in the point standings. And they'll tighten up as they get set to go for the green. It's Jason Eberth showing the way. Jeff Arnett 2nd, Dan Arnold 3rd, Cliff Sales 4th. Lanny Pemberton holds down the 5th spot as we take the green flag. And Arnett quickly trying to put the pressure on Eberth. Gets a little bit squirrely down in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Now Dan Arnold looking to take a peek and possibly a bid for that 2nd spot. Arnett able to shut him off in the middle of turn 3, and he'll hold on to that position. Further back, Sam Millisham going to work on Lanny Pemberton, and that's for that 5th place spot. Millisham and Pemberton wheel to wheels. They come up off turn number 2. Pemberton with the strength down the backstretch. Millisham seeming to get through the bottom of the turns a little bit better. We'll watch that battle as well and see if Arnold can do anything with Arnett, who's trying to chase down Eberth. Eberth looking for his first win of the 97 season. Eric Fleshwood getting shuffled back just a bit, car number 11. Jim Lott going to work on him. And that'll be for that 7th place in the running order. Wes Simons Jr. sitting right there just behind, watching those 2 battle. See if either one of them makes a mistake. 15 laps on the scoreboard, 35 laps remaining in their Eagle Cup run. And now, Pemberton finally free of Millisham, goes to work on Cliff Sales for that 4th spot. Pemberton had been way off for most part of the, well, the last few events anyway, and looks like they finally got that car dialed back into his liking as he takes away that 4th position and looks ahead 20 car lengths to Dan Arnold, who's setting in 3rd. Millisham will get by, as will Lott, so Sales gets trapped on the high side and loses 3 positions and 1 lap. It's still Jason Eberth showing the way. Jeff Arnett 2nd, Dan Arnold 3rd, Lanny Pemberton now 4th, Sam Millisham 5th, Jim Lott 6th, 7th is the number 6 of Cliff Sales, 8th comes Wes Simons, 9th, a good battle going on between Ed Millisham and Eric Fleshwood, and that'll be the deciding factor on 9th and 10th. Millisham down to the bottom, car number 16, working hard through the middle of turns 1 and 2. He'll go door to door with Fleshwood down the backstretch. Millisham with the preferred inside lane, but Fleshwood able to keep that machine wound up on the high groove. Those 2 continue to fight it out. Millisham again putting pressure on Pemberton further ahead. Sam Millisham, that is, so the two Millishams continuing to pressure drivers around the speedway. He'll get the good bite off of turn number 4 and racing to the stripe. It's wheel to wheel and anybody's call for that 4th place spot. But while they're doing all this, the top 3 starting to break away, and now Dan Arnold makes a bid for that 2nd spot. He'll get down inside Jeff Arnett as they work turns 3 and 4. They'll drift together just a bit, a little brush, but no harm done. And Dan Arnold will take away that 2nd spot and set out after his teammate, Jason Ebert, for the number 1 position. And now it goes 3 wide, just about 3 wide, for that 4th place spot as Jim Lott thought about sticking his nose down to the inside of Sam Millisham, who was already inside of Lanny Pemberton. 22 laps on the scoreboard in this 50-lap event. And now Arnold sets sail after Ebert. He's broken away by about 4 car lengths over Jeff Arnett. And we'll see if Pemberton can drag the rest of that field up closer, possibly to make some challenges for 3rd on up. Fleshwood getting his hands full, a little bit loose through the bottom of 1 and 2. And Ed Millisham still trying to work on Eric Fleshwood for position. Randy Yarborough starts to close in as well on that duo. And Sam Millisham and Lanny Pemberton still haven't give up that fight. Millisham gets a good run through the middle of 1 and 2. Jim Lott waiting for a mistake by Pemberton so he can stick his nose down in there and possibly take a spot away as well. Those 2 teammates, the 84 and 74. Slot tries to shove Sam Millisham through that opening and follow through himself. Millisham finally able to take over that 4th spot, and Jim Lott looks like he's going to take 5th away from Lanny Pemberton. And now Wes Simons Jr. starts to close in. So a good battle going on. And further back, it's Ed Millisham still working on Eric Fleshwood, Randy Yarborough working on Cliff Sales. Sales drifting back through the field, was running strong early in the event. Looks like the car may have gone away from him just a bit. 26 laps in the books, over halfway done with their 50-lap event. And Jason Ebert's advantage now down to a car length as Dan Arnold closes in once again. Everyone else finally shaking it out except for Pemberton and Simons, who are working turns 3 and 4. They'll run door to door and wheel to wheel to the stripe. Pemberton able to hold on to the position, but Simons challenging down on the inside. Pemberton able to hold on to that spot. Will refocus their attention on the top 2. What was several car lengths now down to just about a car length. And the top 2 starting to close in on some traffic. They'll first have to deal with car number 8, Tom Barrett out of Midlothian. First car subject to going a lap down. Larry Morgan still having a tough time progressing through the field. Trying to close in on Cliff Sales now. He's only been able to pick up 4 positions since the restart. He'll need a caution to help tighten things up if he has any shot at working his way back to that number 1 or number 2 spot at least. Leaders close in on Barrett. They'll head to turns 3 and 4, and we'll see if Tom Barrett will come into play in that battle for the number 1 spot. Nearly pins Jason Ebert against the wall, and that'll allow Dan Arnold to close up even more. Looks down to the inside, may think of making it 3 wide. Wisely, he'll back out of it, fall in line just behind Ebert and follow him around Tom Barrett as they work turns 3 and 4. Top 2 now clear of Barrett. Arnett will next have to deal with him. Arnett having a good run tonight, holding on to that 3rd spot. He's been climbing the points ladder up to 7th in the standings. Car number 63, Jeff Arnett out of Chester. Arnett now works alongside Tom Barrett. He'll clear him and set sail after those top 2 who've opened up about a 20 car length advantage over him as they work down the backstretch. Sam Millisham and Jim Lott starting to close in on Arnett just a bit. Those 2, after working by Lanny Pemberton, have gained some ground, and now one car spinning on the backstretch. Car number 69, Larry Waltrip, down in the dirt, and that'll bring out caution number 2 on lap number 35. So under caution once again, as 35 laps in the record book, car number 69, Larry Waltrip, losing it off turn number 2. The inset of this race. Dan Arnold now 2nd, 3rd belongs to Jeff Arnett, 4th, Sam Millisham 5th, Jim Lott 6th, Lanny Pemberton 7th, Wes Simons 8th, Eric Fleshwood, 9th. Ed Millisham in 10th. Randy Yarborough. And a sportsmanlike thing of Tom Barrett, car number 8. He's still going through that learning curve. He backed totally out of it and let everyone get through cleanly. One car getting down in the dirt. Now it's going to put a lot of water up on the asphalt. Car number 90 goes into the wall. Jeff Sims. The number 17 of Randy Yarborough spins. So we'll quickly go right back to caution. As I told you, a little bit of water down there in the turns. And one car getting down in there and splashing up a good deal of water. It's been in for service. A little tire pressure adjustment on the number 17. He'll try to fight his way back through the field. It'll be Jason Ebert, Dan Arnold, Jeff Arnett, Sam Millisham, and Jim Lott, your top 5 as we take the green flag. Everyone looking good through turns 1 and 2, and Arnold now losing a little bit of ground to Jason Ebert. Ebert with a strong run on this first lap. Arnold will try to close back up on his rear deck. At the stripe, he's able to hold on to that number 1 spot by a car length and a half. Sam Millisham now trying to work on Jeff Arnett. Tries to close in. He'll fall back in line just about a car length off his rear deck. Jim Lott also in the chase. Further back, Larry Morgan trying to pick his way back through the field, going to work on the number 11 of Eric Fleshwood for position. Morgan not needing to lose any ground in the points chase tonight. Millisham, the number 5, Sam Millisham, nearly getting into the rear deck of Arnett. Arnett slipped just a bit coming off turn number 2. Millisham nearly got into the rear quarter of him. This time, he's going to make a challenge to the inside, thinks better of it. He'll fall in line single file once again. That's the battle for third as Millisham takes a peek once again down to the bottom side of the track. Can't get the run, and he has to look in his rearview mirror. Jim Lott closing up on him in a battle for position. But 5 car lengths back, it is Larry Morgan still working on Eric Fleshwood, and Arnold starting to take a few peeks on Jason Ebert for that number 1 spot. That battle for third continues to wage on. Morgan still having his troubles with Fleshwood. Fleshwood giving him that inside lane, but Morgan unable to get enough bite coming up off the turns to make the pass. Those two about 5 car lengths behind Ed Millisham, who's chasing Wes Simons and Lanny Pemberton. Up front at the stripe, it'll be 10 laps to go, 10 laps remaining, with Jason Ebert showing the way. Dan Arnold second. Jeff Arnett still holding on to that 3rd spot, but Sam Millisham gets a fender just to the inside, but still can't get the run. He'll try it again, going into turn number 3, runs hard into 3 this time. They'll get together as they work into turn number 4. A little bit of rush, but everybody's able to hold on. Nobody even checked up as Millisham fights hard for that 3rd spot, and he'll get it as they work onto the backstretch. Arnett tries to battle back on the outside. Jim Lott thinking about making it 3 wide, just trying to keep Arnett up off that bottom groove so he can make the run. They'll get together just a bit and able to continue on, but move Sam Millisham now to 3rd. Arnett trying to hold on to 4th, but Jim Lott's got the challenge going. Lott now squeezes him up against the boilerplate and will take over that position. Now Lanny Pemberton comes, gives him a shove from the rear, so Jeff Arnett having his troubles with the rest of the drivers as they try to battle their way by him. And it looks like number 43 is off the pace. Dan Arnold showing problems. He drifts high in the banking. Millisham will go by. Lott will go by. Arnett now works around Arnold. And Dan Arnold, the current points leader, with his problems, everybody stacks up. 1 car will loop. It'll be Larry Morgan as they try to work by him. And we go under caution on lap number 43. Dan Arnold off the pace, and Larry Morgan getting involved in that altercation as well as everybody checked up trying to work their way around Arnold. So caution number 4 coming out on lap number 43. Green flag racing next time by. Jason Ebert now will have to fend off Sam Millisham, and we'll see both those drivers seeking their first win of 97. Millisham seeking his first ever. Jim Lott as well seeking his first ever win. The rookie contender Jim Lott has done well, and now they stack it up further back. Ed Millisham goes to work on Wes Simons. He'll slip by Simons now. Jeff Sims tries to get by Simons on the inside. They'll brush just a bit, able to continue on. Ebert holds on by a car length and a half over Millisham. As they dice it up further back, Dan Arnold looks like he's still a bit off the pace. Larry Morgan's picked off 1 spot in his march to the front. Now he goes after Steve Powell for position, the car number 06. And every spot means 2 more points if he finishes ahead of Dan Arnold. Ebert sets sail down the backstretch with 5 laps to go, and he opens up his advantage now over Millisham. Make it 4 car lengths. They work down the backstretch. Jeff Arnett working his way back into third, able to get by Jim Lott. So Arnett back on the charge. 4 to go. And Eberth looking to get a win. Now Lott gives a little shove to the rear deck. Arnett tries to loosen him up, but it's not going to work. And Lott's got company. Car number 74, Lanny Pemberton, closes in on him, as does the 16, Ed Millisham. Dan Arnold picking off one spot, so that's 2 more points for him. He's got 1 car between him and Larry Morgan, the number 69, Larry Waltrip. Morgan now trying to pick off a spot from Randy Yarbrough, as Arnold goes underneath the 69 of Waltrip. 2 laps remaining, and it looks like Jason Eberth can pretty much ride this one out. If he doesn't have any problems, he's got a comfortable advantage now over Millisham with only 2 laps to go. But as we've seen several times, anything can happen. He'll get the white flag this time by Jason Eberth, heading for his first win of 1997. Millisham trying to hold on to second. Further back, we're going to keep an eye on Morgan and Arnold. Right now, they're separated by 1 car, Randy Yarbrough. Doesn't look like Dan Arnold's going to have time to mount a challenge on Yarbrough. To the stripe, and Jason Eberth gets the win. Second place will go to Sam Millisham. Third, Jeff Arnett. Fourth, Jim Lott. Fifth goes to Lanny Pemberton. Sixth, Ed Millisham. Seventh, Wes Simons. Eighth, Jeff Sims. Ninth, Eric Fleshwood. And unofficially 10th will be Larry Morgan.